The Haalvu machine gun dropped with Tenocon, a primary weapon that lives up to the name of being sentient. In normal mode, it's a bullet hose with solid critical and status chance stats, a definite upgrade over its Nora Prime, and just a little bit below the DPS of the Tenet Tetra. In alternate mode, it loses around 1/3 of the DPS and consumes 50% more ammo per shot, in exchange for removing all recoil and gaining auto-targeting. While holding fire, the gun splits its attention between up to 4 targets within 10 meters across roughly 90 degrees in front of you. Vaguely speaking, if an unmodded Thara strike would hit it, Haalvu would too. So with one of 2 legitimate aimbots given away from Tenocon, the other being Mesa Prime of course, what do you need to know to use it? I'm TheKengineer, let's solve a practical problem. If you missed out on grabbing the Haalvu this time, worry not. DE usually bring back Tenocon weapons within a couple months, often added to an easy to access vendor. For those of you who have it, you've got yourself a reliable mid-tier weapon. It's a battery weapon meaning unlimited ammo and automatic regeneration. This also disqualifies it from some perks or options such as primary plated round. A partially drained battery will begin recharging in half a second and fully recharges from 1 ammo in also half a second, an exceptionally fast regen. If you empty the battery, the gun requires a proper reload, which still technically isn't a reload, taking over twice as long. Control bursts are rewarded with less downtime. Innately, Haalvu deals pure TAL damage, including a TAL status effect, which makes targets more vulnerable to chance-based status effects. Combined with its solid status stats and high rate of fire, this makes it exceptionally good at applying status effects. Do be aware that while TAL status effects can be spread to other targets via the mecha set, at this time they seem ignored by the companion mod Contagious Bond. Haalvu is Hitscan, meaning there's no leading of shots needed. Combined with its perfect accuracy and easy handling, it's practically a laser beam. As a precision weapon, you get all the usual benefits of headshots in both modes, though you'll find the alternate fire is a little less concerned with precision. When firing, it's an attempt to just body shot the nearby targets with no regard for perfection. This can hit the headshot if the line of effect is just right, especially on infested which leap at you head first. Alternatively, it can dump lots of shots harmlessly into the ground if you're stood at just the wrong angle on certain unmoving enemies. In a mission, this wouldn't really be an issue, so don't fret about it. The aimbot mode spreads its fire across up to 4 enemies at once, dropping the DPS each receives by that split. With few enemies to target, the floating barrels will focus their fire, ultimately pouring full DPS into a single target if that's all that's available. Likewise, if you're out of range of all targets, all barrels fire forwards with pinpoint precision and the same alternate fire DPS as if they were auto-targeting. While this is lower than the primary fire DPS, you may find that switching is not worth it for low numbers of long distance targets. On a practical level, this is the entirety of the gun. Hybrid stats, absolute bullet hose, TAL damage innately, and capable of extreme aim assist at close range. For modding then, it comes down to the environment you'll be in. An all-round setup handles the majority of missions where you expect a frequent set of enemies without farming choke points. Standard mods of Galvanized Chamber, Critical Delay, Vital Sense give the fundamental multi-shot and critical stats such a weapon demands. Malignant Force and Rhyme Rounds gives us viral modding, combined with Hellfire for heat and magnetic capacity for magnetic. All combined, that provides bonus damage against health, armor, shields, and overguard for a cozy all-round effect. Galvanized Aptitude then triggers from the 4 status effects this provides to produce a solid 320% damage bonus. In the arcane slot, I recommend either Primary Bulwark if you're well armoured like Lavos always is, or Primary Deadhead if you intend to aim a bit, and Merciless if you don't. The modding here is crucially missing fire rate. You can add this externally very easily, such as with Reinforced Bond on a companion, or Arcane Acceleration on your Warframe. If you can't spare those bonuses, consider dropping Magnetic Capacity for Vile Acceleration instead. This will shred through normal missions, can handle Steel Path with some support, and should be a simple enough all-round setup to handle. Ammo is no concern, so open fire on all targets with a switch to full precision on key heavy units that otherwise refuse to perish. If you're in more confined spaces, a switch up to a blast focus is in order to make the most of clumped up targets. Thermite rounds and Rhyme rounds give us that blast, and Rifle Elementalist gives us both a boost to that blast damage and a punch through bonus to hit additional targets when lined up. Punch through works on both normal mode and aimbot modes, so long as the enemies stack up nicely. No change in the arcane choice here though, the same pure damage demand still applies. For an alternate arcane choice, there is the final mission environment, shooting one big enemy rather than many basic ones. Such missions prevent you getting or maintaining kill stacks, so we need a stackless build, at least for kills. Classic mods like Split Chamber and Serration cover our core multi-shot and damage stats, with elements this time switched to Corrosive Cold. Many boss enemies are immune to viral procs, so it's no loss switching off that. I've included Prime Shred here to allow for some shooting through terrain and enemies, as can be helpful in some boss fights. Otherwise, replace it with Vile Acceleration for maximum fire rate bonuses. Naturally, if you're missing any of the Prime mods or higher tier mods, lower tier versions can be used with a matching reduction in effect. For this setup, Primary Frostbite provides us a way to stack our arcane without kills, relying on cold procs. This doesn't increase pure damage, but instead it boosts our multi-shot and critical damage. At full stack, there's a 110% DPS increase on the primary fire, 102% increase on secondary fire. As those cold procs can come from any source, your Warframe abilities, companion attacks, even primer weapons like the Epitaph can contribute too. If the boss is immune to cold, swap from Corrosive Cold to Blast Toxin and use Primary Blight. Blast Toxin is weaker against bosses usually, and Primary Blight cannot stack from anything but your primary weapon, so this is a fallback option. Even against status immune enemies, you'll still find the Haalvu capable enough for Steel Path assassinations, given you have the tank to survive them. Infinite ammo and one hell of a fire rate goes a long way. All told, the Haalvu isn't an award winner for most damaging. It's a mid-tier weapon given for free from a convention. And yet, it's the first player weapon with tower damage, an infinite ammo aimbot, and very cozy to handle. If this is the firepower of Tau, it's no wonder the old War Oracle were defeated. That's all from me on the Haalvu. Much of the testing of this weapon happened live on stream, so check out the link to Twitch below this video. And as always, split the gun, fire till done, and fight well, Tenno.